Oh, hello, how are you both doing today? Sorry about that, but the weather out there is hectic. But nice to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Jackson. How's everything going today? Not so well. Well, we're gonna see if we can change that not so well into something better. So, let's take a look. What seems to be the problem? Ah, income issues. And what seems to be the problem with the money y'all are bringing in? Ah, so it's not necessarily a problem, it's more like one of you brings in more and the other one brings in less. And who seems to have the problem with it? You, Mrs. Jackson? Why is that? He lied to you? What do you mean he lied to you? Here, hold on. I'll just take a look at the notes. Ah. Mr. Jackson here doesn't make enough. When we first went on our date, he told me that he makes more than enough money to take care of himself. Is that what you said, Mr. Jackson? Oh, you didn't? So, what did you tell her? Miss Jackson? Let him get a word in. Mr. Jackson, go ahead. Well, let's see what your notes say. I told her that I make enough to take care of my bills. I make enough to keep food in my place. I drive a decent car and it helps me get from point A to point B. Okay, similar to what she kind of said, but a little different. So, Mr. Jackson, let's start with you first. What seems to be the problem? She's mad because you're not making enough. Okay, well, where do you work at? Okay, you work at a warehouse shop, and how much you making for that warehouse? That's pretty good. $15 to almost $17 an hour. That's great. Oh, it's not great, Mrs. Jackson? And why is that? Because he lied to you. Okay, well, we get that, but how in a way did he lie to you? Besides what you wrote down in the notes. What do you mean by that's not great and that he lied to you? Oh, so when you first met him, basically, he made it seem like he was this big-time baller person, or he had money like that, stacks of money, right? And then when you got with them as time went on, it turned out it wasn't what you thought it was. Well, how fast did y'all get together? Ah, so you're a newlywed. You've only been married for, only a year. Well, I understand. But let's keep on going. What else seems to be the problem, Miss Jackson? Ooh, okay. So you hate the fact that Mr. Jackson here, your husband, not your husband? Okay, wait, hold on. Somebody's not making sense here. I thought y'all were married. Oh, she wants a divorce. And why does she want a divorce, Mr. Jackson? Okay. So because, and just correct me anywhere if I'm wrong, Miss Jackson, you want to divorce him that fast because he's not making enough. And how much did you expect him to make? You wanted him to make well over $5,000, really? And why is that? I'm sorry for laughing. I don't mean to laugh. It's just that you're saying he can't provide for your lifestyle. Okay, but what is your lifestyle? Please explain that. It's all right, it's all right, Mr. Jackson. Let her explain that lifestyle that she's talking about. Oh, okay. Or let me see what your notes say, Betty F. Based on the notes that you left my assistant, as you said, Miss Jackson, and I quote, he can't provide for me. I need my hair done, my nails done, my toes done. I need to have the best clothes, the best shoes, the best purse, the best everything. I need to be taken out to eat all the time. I don't cook at I don't cook at home. You rarely clean up. He needs to hire a I'm sorry. He needs to hire a maid. Hold on a minute. Did you think this man here was what? Wesley Snipes? Did you think here he was Bill Gates? Did you think he was even Michael B. Jordan? You want him to be up there where they are. I'm sorry if I'm mentioning certain celebrities' names in this session we're having, but that's funny what you just said, Miss Jackson. Now that we heard your statement, Mr. Jackson, it's your turn to talk. Miss Jackson, you had your moment to talk. Now let your soon-to-be divorced husband here talk. Okay. Keep talking. You said in the beginning, okay, yeah, you said in the beginning when you met her, you showed off that you had a good job, that you had your own vehicle, and that you were taking care of things at home by yourself. Okay, that's good. What else? Oh, so she thought you had buku money out, pretty much falling out your butt at this time. She thought you had money like the celebrities and the people who are famous that I just mentioned. Okay, that's fine. Well, so let's just see here. It seems like the overall problem here isn't you, Mr. Jackson. It's you, Mrs. Jackson. The man told you in the beginning, before you decided to marry him and rush into getting married and all that stuff, this is what he has to offer. This is who he is. And you just blocked all that out of your mind, married him, and then when you found out how he was doing and how he was really living, now here you are saying you're infuriated because you believe he lied to you. Oh, he did lie to you. Well, how did he lie to you? By not telling you how he lives. Okay. Mr. Jackson, do you believe you lied to her? No, you didn't. You wanted her to see you for who you are as the man you are. Mrs. Jackson, let him finish. Okay, I get it. It sounds like basically the whole income situation isn't really about income. It's more like, I got lied to, I want a divorce because he doesn't have the things that I need to take care of me. Well, Mrs. Jackson, it sounds like you wasted your time and his time. Let me guess, how much did you spend on the wedding, Mr. Jackson? Over $10,000. And you don't think that's enough? Oh, it's not enough. Well, how much did you want him to spend on the wedding? Like, you want him to go above and beyond? 50K? 100K for a wedding? Oh, so not that high, but enough. Okay, well, a man spending anywhere of $10,000 or more on a wedding, especially if he's paying for it all and you're not contributing anything, yes, that's more than enough. Oh, but when you married him, it turns out he only makes a certain amount. Well, here, let's look at this again. Maybe you should be... You're a secretary for a trade company, and how much are you making per hour? Not even per hour, per month. Okay, so you're making almost up to $75,000 per month. And you are making about, we'll just say roughly 40 hours every 2 weeks. We'll just roughly round yours up to maybe anywhere between 23, maybe more an hour. Okay. But you hate the fact that you're making more than him. Oh, wait. Say that again, Mr. Jackson? Say that again? Oh, so she loves to every once in a while throw in your face how I can do this myself. I don't need you. And then whenever you try to leave, yes, I can already guess. Whenever you try to leave, all of a sudden she gets an attitude with you and tries to stop you from leaving. Well, Mrs. Jackson, what made you finally say, okay, enough is enough, I want a divorce? Because he keeps leaving? Mrs. Jackson, if every time you get into an argument with him about money, and you always bring up how you don't need him, then yes, I would be doing the same thing he'd be doing too. I would leave you. Throwing in a man's face every single time how, oh, I make more money than you, I don't need you to take care of me. Guess what? He's gonna leave eventually. Do you want him to leave? Let's get down to it now. Forget everything else. Let's get down to the main thing. Do you want him to leave? You really want him to leave? Well, Mr. Jackson, she's certain. What about you? You're unsure. Okay, well that's fine. Here's what's gonna happen. What are you doing, Miss? What are you doing? Oh, you brought the divorce papers here for him to sign in front of me. Okay. This is getting a little too personal, so put those divorce papers back. No, put them back. We are having a session. If you want to divorce him, you do this in your private time. Now, she said she wants a divorce right now, immediately. You, Mr. Jackson, what do you want? You want to try to work this out. Okay, well, that's good. Mr. Jackson, I'm only going to advise you on this, and you can take it for what it's worth. The man here may make less than you, but he's a working man. He's been there for you. He's had your back. He's taken care of you. And I'm going by his notes on what he told my assistant a couple of days before it got to this. I'm a good man. I have a job. I have my own car. I can get my own place. I take care of my woman. And I make sure she's never stressing about what needs to be taken care of. Now, Mrs. Jackson, think about that for a moment. If you throw him away behind some money issues, do you know how bad that will not necessarily look for you, but do you know how silly you will look if he later on gets with somebody else? You may not care now. I get it. You don't care now. But I promise you this. If you divorce this man right now, the next woman will not let him go no matter what. And why is that? It ain't going to be because about the money. It ain't going to be because of what he can do for her. It's the fact that he has told you he's a good man. If you want to throw away a good man because he ain't taking care of you the way you want to be taken care of, then yes, you've wasted your time marrying him, and you're a fool. Now, my session with y'all is almost up, so here's what's going to happen. You're going to spend time away from each other for a whole month. Now, if you still want to divorce him later on, you bring those same divorce papers with you when you meet him again. And as for you, Mr. Jackson, you decide if this relationship, this newly marriage that y'all have is worth fighting for. But I have wasted too much, not necessarily wasted, I have spoken too much. Y'all's session is up. Have yourself a nice day and try to work this out.